Hey, it's Mel with We Can Code It. I'm continuing the series on helping you learn through programming challenges. So this is a specific site I've been using to go through different programming challenges. It's called indiabix.com, and this is Java Programming Operators and Assignments. I will be moving this over into C# so that not only can you see how similar C# and Java are, but also so that this tutorial helps both Java and C# programmers understand concepts that are the same in both places. So this question involves a scope of variables, the understanding of how the program is sequenced, how it runs, and understanding something about static. So this is what it's all about. I'm copying this, and let's just make sure I got it. Copy. Now I'm going to hop on over to Visual Studio, which is my IDE for C#, and we're ready for a C# console application here. And I'm going to change a few things. Some of the things I'm going to change include capitalizing the main method in Java. The convention is to use lowercase method names. In C#, the convention is to use uppercase. Now, for every method except main in C#, it doesn't matter, honestly. The program's not going to fail because you don't capitalize twice or start here, but it will fail if you don't capitalize main. It actually looks for a capitalized main when it runs. The other things I'm going to be changing to convert it over to C# is system.out.println in Java becomes system.console.writeLine in C#, and same down here, system out print in Java becomes system console write in C#. Everything else looks good. Those are the only two things we needed to change to make this run in C#. All right, so let's go ahead and review here. We have a class, it's called test, that we're creating. And in the definition for this class, we have a static field, and this field is an integer and it's called s. What I want you to realize is it's static, so you don't need an instance of class test to call it. Okay, so if you see s, you don't need to call it with an instance, so we don't need to create an object to call s, okay? If you haven't seen my video on static versus instance members, please look for it on YouTube and review it. It'll help you out a lot, hopefully. The other thing I want you to realize is the scope of this field. The scope of this field is in the whole class itself. It doesn't go away until you hit after the class, after you're outside the class. It is available to use anywhere, including the children of this class, like the methods. It's available and visible to them. Okay? So this means anywhere I see s in a method, it will actually change the value globally of s within this class. Cool. With that said, let's move on to main. So right here, we're creating an instance of an object, and the object is of type test. Test is the class we're already in. This is static method, so it's just saying, hey, go ahead and create a new instance of test here. We're going to call it P. Cool. So in the next line, 15, we're telling P to use the start method. So let's go down to the start method down here, and we hit line 21 in the start method. We are declaring a new integer variable. This is, what scope does this have? The scope is only within this method because we are declaring it in this method. We have not declared x out here like we did s, okay? It's just within this method. So this int x equals 7. Now we're calling another method that's in the same class, and that method's called twice, and we're passing in as an argument to twice, we're passing in x. So let's go down to twice. Down here, twice doesn't return anything, that's why it says void. It's called twice, and it has a parameter, so it's expecting an integer. Now, x here is, we could have called this z. it doesn't matter. If we called it Z, we would need to rename all references to X to be Z, okay? But it's a little tricky because X is seen here, X is seen here, right? This is, think of it as a brand new variable, and we're calling it X again. It's just another variable named X that is only, that scope is within this method, okay? So X, and we're just happen to be passing a variable called X to it, but when it comes in here, this 7 that is passed is, it's also called X, but this scope for this version of X is only within this method. Okay, whew, hope you understood that. So we're saying, let's do this first. Let's go to the right-hand side of this assignment. We're saying X times 2. So X was passed in as 7. X times 2 is then 14. So we're reassigning the value of the local variable X to 14. Good. Now we go to the next line and we assign this variable up here, the static integer, which has a big wide scope through the whole class. We're assigning that to X. So S becomes 14. Okay? Good. Now we hit the end of this method. This variable X goes out of scope. Okay? It pops off the call stack, if you know anything about that. Good. Now we come back here and run, next line is 23, and we do a system console write, or in Java, system out print of the value of X, and concatenate it with a literal string value of space. So it will print, what is X here? X has not changed here, remember? 7 and then a space. Good. So we'll print, and I'm just going to make a little mark here, 7 space. Good. Now we go to the end of this method. At the end of this method, our int X is now out of scope. Good. So it just disappears, it pops off the call stack. And now we come back to the end of line 15, beginning of line 16, and we resume the evaluation within the main method up here. And we say system console write line S. What is S? It's 14. So we've printed the values 7, a space, and then we come back up here and we print 14. So that's what I anticipate this will write. Let's check it out. I'm going to run the program for you. And voila, 714. Good. Now let's just go back over to IndiaBix and let's select an answer. The answer will be 7 space 14. Let's view our answer to make sure. Yes, indeed it is. It is option B, which is 7 space 14, and they give you a little bit less of a detailed reason why this happens, but I hope my detailed explanation has helped you out and gives you some more understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, more videos up next. Hope to see ya.